probably what people would like to know is how Labour would address some of the issues that have been raised, and I think particularly around welfare reform. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion about Labour beginning the reforms themselves, incapacity benefit and so on and so forth, reconfiguring that. How would you approach some of the issues that people are facing here? And I think there's two things. There's ESA and the capability assessment, and then there's the upcoming DLA merge to PIP. Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair comment to say that Labour was involved in welfare reform. We did it in an entirely different way. We worked with organisations and with disabled people to produce a welfare reform approach that actually recognised the needs of individuals, and we were supported in those proposals. Obviously there were some issues where there was disagreement, but essentially we took a far more consensual approach to welfare reform.
So would Labour literally look at reversing some of these changes?
I think it's difficult to give those sorts of commitments at the moment. We don't know where we're going to be in 3 years. I think what I find most disturbing, though, about the current environment is the tone and the context of the reforms. As an MP and as someone who lives in an ordinary community, I know that there is fear out there just now about what might happen to individuals. I think the government have also sapped the confidence of many disabled people. And of course we see a correlation, I think, in the rise of abuse and harassment of disabled people. And some of the polling indicates that disabled people are being labelled as cheats and benefit frauds, which of course they are not.
Yeah. Are you getting people through your constituency office on that?
Yes, I'm getting quite a few through on the general issues, and some on some of the more specific concerns that they have. People with a visual impairment who currently get the lower rate DLA, who don't think they're going to qualify, and yet that visual impairment is a disabling factor for them in being independent in the community. Perhaps they need.
Yeah, because that's certainly the issue I'm finding with people, generally service users. Their care is capped, and Newcastle's also just introduced that as a policy. Talking to people who say have 20 hours care a week, that's the sum total of their entitlement, so they spend the weekend in bed, that kind of thing. How would Labour look at addressing that? Is it possible to address that sort of issue?
Well, that's one of the things that Liam Byrne and myself and Liz Kendall, our social care shadow, we are committed actually to going around the country. Liam made that commitment to listen to the needs, the aspirations and the difficulties that people are facing, so that we can build up what is a response that is in tune with the real difficulties that individuals are facing and indeed local authorities are facing. But we're going to have that conversation with people because I passionately believe that disabled people and carers should be at the heart of the discussion and not just a consultee at the end of a policy development driven by government.
Is it possible to restore some of those budgets?
I think these are all matters, obviously, for the future. What I would like to see is us having that discussion with individual and disabled people and the organisations that represent them, with local authorities and with trade unions, to look at how we can best formulate our response to the changing aspirations out there. Disabled people want to be out at work. They want to have an independent life. They want to have choice and control over their lives. But for many of them, they need that additional support, both financially and sometimes through social care, to make those choices. But if we don't get that right, then frankly we are going backwards in terms of the equality for disabled people.